6110 Vision Quest is a project of the Iola, Kansas Rotary Club and Rotary District 6110. This project allows reading glasses to be made in developing parts of the world very inexpensively and out of basic materials. Everything needed to make this comes in the kit, weighs 26 pounds, and it has all materials and tools for 314 pair of glasses. These are the simple hand tools that are included. Additionally, materials such as the lenses, the PVC tubing, and the stainless steel wire are in the kit. The lenses start at a +1, go up to a +4 in quarter diopter steps, and the system has a very unique testing system to determine what strength of glasses are needed. The real genius of the kit, however, is this bending jig, as you see. Everything at all needed to make very durable reading glasses in 15 to 20 minutes for under 50 cents US is included. Here's the process of making the frame. Select one of the long pieces of stainless wire. Closely approximate the center. It's not critical. Then place it in the aluminum block as you see here. The wire will be bent back on each side to go beneath the nail, as shown in this picture. Now the wire should be parallel after being bent back, but to make sure that it's really and truly bent back as far as you can, use the tips of the pliers to ensure this. Then use your thumb, bend it back over the nail on one side and then the other, trying to make the same U-shaped bend on both sides. Once you've done that, it will look something like shown in this picture here. Then shove the nail to one side, cause the using the pliers to pry up the wire. Take it out, then take the wire, place it in the pliers, and you will bend it out, turn it around and bend it the opposite direction, trying to get the two pieces so that they're in the same plane. These will form the bridge of the glasses. Next, place it beneath the slot underneath a heavy piece of metal. Bend it around the left edge of the jig, as you see here, forming a 90 degree. Turn it over, bend the other direction. Notice the space in the jig to accommodate this. This is what the frame will look like at this point in the process. Now, place it back in the slot in the aluminum block with the wire underneath the nail. Then use your thumb and bend it back. Slide it to the other side and do the same thing. Again, trying to keep the same bend. Now take this, place it between the aluminum block and the small aluminum extrusion, and then bend it around the aluminum extrusion as you see here. Then flip the wire over the opposite way and bend it around again. The final step in this portion of the process is to use your thumbs and to bend the frame into a little bit of a curvature, and this is what the frame will look like. That curvature will allow the lens to match it. Now, cut off a piece of the PVC tubing. The length that you need is the width of the jig. Now, we'll take the short pieces of wire. These are used to fabricate the temple pieces. Note there's a flat spot. We'll slide the PVC tubing on from the long end. It will slide down over the flat spot, and that flat spot, which tells the specifics of the wire, actually will keep that from coming off. Now, place the wire end opposite the PVC in the pliers. Bend it very hard to make a 90 degree bend. Once you've done this for each piece, they will look like this. Take a scrap of stainless from a previous pair of glasses, insert it into the hole as seen here, 2.5 inches long. In the other hole, insert one of the wires that you've bent with a 90 degree bend at the end. Now place this tool that comes along. It has a pin sticking through it. Slide it down over the scrap, put it down next to the piece, and bring it around. This is we'll call this 0 when it's parallel with the bending jig. Go around 5 times, stop, leaving it parallel, and then this will make the right temple. When you go the left direction, it will make the left temple piece. This is what it should look like when you've completed that part of it. Now take your pliers, cut off the excess that was poked down into the hole just as close as you can. Do this for both pieces and you will wind up with two pieces that look like this, and the sharp ends form the block or the stop on the temple pieces. Now, place it into the hole on the side of the jig. Hold it down with one hand, use your other hand and bend it down to a 45-degree angle, and now you have the temple pieces. Remember that the bend that forms the front of the frame is always away from you. Next, you will take the temple piece, slide it up onto the long portion of the main frame piece, with the cut piece, the sharp edge, going to the inside. Grasp the coil with your pliers, pushing the temple, or pushing the frame piece up as closely as you can, and make a sharp bend with your thumb toward the opposite side. Once you've done this, cut the excess wire off so that the remaining piece is about 2/3 of the overall length of the coil. Now you've got more scrap to use with making your next pair of glasses. After cutting, this will look like this, and at this point you will take the tips of the pliers to grab the cut ends, and you will squeeze and bend this down so that it's right next to the coil, and then use the pliers again to make sure that it's in very tightly. Therefore, you wind up with a hinge that has no pin and no screw to lose. This is what your finished hinge should look like. After attaching both temple pieces, you now have the completed frame, and we're ready to move on to the testing part. So now we'll take one of the test boards that you see here, and it will be held to the face as though you were looking through a pair of glasses. You will extend the near point card, or the part that has the four-way test on it, to the end of the little monofilament line, and you'll be able to read, and one side of the card is those who are literate, and the other side is for those who are unable to read. Now that you've determined what the strength is that is needed for the patient, you will select that particular strength of lens. You see it's marked on the end of the lens. You place it in the routed out portion of the jig with the tab sticking out. Use the saw and cut off the portion. There's also a place on the side of the jig that you can use a C-clamp that's included to attach it to a work surface. Once you've cut that end off, you rotate it by 90 degrees and then cut it again, yielding two lenses from the original lens that you started with. Next, using the provided 240 grit wet dry sandpaper, shape or edge the lens to remove sharp corners and edges. This is what the shaped lens should look like. Something like this. You can be as creative as you want to be. Next, we'll prepare the lenses for attachment. Put the straight edge of the lens on the jig as seen here, then lay the 1/8 inch round file on the metal that you see and mark the lens with the file. Turn the lens around and mark the other end as well. Once it's marked, you'll use the 1/8 inch file that's included to cut grooves into about the depth of the file. Now we'll attach the lenses. Taking the long skinny end, we'll hook it into the lens, push it down, and you'll see that the lens will snap right into place next to the bridge. The glasses will look like this, but we're not yet finished. Using the pliers firmly but very carefully, crimp the loops tightly to secure the lens to the frame. This must be done with great care because it's very easy to crack the lens. We'll do that for each side. Now, using the pointed plier tips, we're going to add a tilt to the glasses. Use your thumb and push against it so that you don't crack the lenses, and then you can adjust them for comfort and fit. If the glasses are made for inventory in advance, then you can use the plastic tip that comes with the lens in order to determine what that one is when you're done. So, almost anybody with a bit of practice can make these sturdy but inexpensive glasses.